Hey folks, this is Rhykker with a Diablo lore video. Now this will be part 1 in a series in which we explore the major players in the story of Diablo. From the Nephalem, to Tyrael, to Deckard Cain, to Diablo himself. And we'll give a crash course on what exactly is going on in this game series, story-wise. Because there's a lot of really cool lore, really interesting characters, and just playing through the games doesn't quite give you the full story. Be sure to have subscription notifications turned on so that you can be alerted when a new episode comes out. Now we're gonna start this series from the beginning. No, not Diablo 1, the beginning. The very first being in creation. You see, in the beginning, there was only Anu, aka the One, aka the Diamond Warrior. And I mean, there was only Anu. There was no universe, there was nothing, there was just Anu. So one day, presumably after an intense session with his life coach, Anu decided to better himself by casting out all the evil, all the bad parts within him, and become a being of pure good. And there must have been quite a bit of evil within him, because all the evil parts came together to form another being called Tathamet, the first prime evil. And we'll talk more about Tathamet in a bit. So now, literally the only two things to exist are Anu and Tathamet. And since video games haven't been invented yet and there's nothing better to do, these two decide to fight each other for several thousands of years, before they conveniently both die at the same time, in a massive explosion tantamount to the Big Bang. Our whole universe. No, not you. And this resulted in the creation of the universe. Now, while Anu was dead and gone, chunks of him were still floating around the universe. The Eye of Anu, also known as the World Stone, which we see at the end of Diablo 2, remained at the center of the universe, in a realm that came to be known as Pandemonium, which we visit slightly in Diablo 2 and prominently in Diablo 3. Anu's spine was blasted far out into the universe, and eventually became the Crystal Arch, around which the high heavens formed. We see the Crystal Arch in Diablo 3. It's where we fight Diablo, and this arch gives birth to angels. We'll talk more about angels in a bit. Now, this is pretty much where Anu's story ends, which is to be expected since he's pretty well dead. But there is a brief mention of him in Diablo 3. If you look at the item Rogar's Huge Stone and read the lore bit, it seems that this stone may have been fashioned from crystallized blood of Anu. So now with Anu's story over, let's turn our attention to the second being in creation, Tathamet. Also known as the Dragon, also known as the Beast, also known as the Prime Evil. Tathamet was a 7-headed dragon and was the sum of all evil. Now, when Anu and Tathamet destroyed each other, Tathamet's body also got blasted across the universe to spawn various interesting peoples and places. The bulk of his bloated corpse formed the Burning Hells, within which can be found the mysterious Black Abyss, from which demons are born. And yes, as you may guess, we'll talk more about demons later. Now, remember how we said that Tathamet had 7 heads before he exploded? Well, each of those heads spawned one of the great evils, the most powerful demons in hell. The 3 most powerful heads gave birth to the 3 brothers, the prime evils, including Diablo himself, while the 4 lesser heads gave birth to the lesser evils. And I'm sure there totally won't be any jealousy and ensuing infighting from that. Now, there's a little more to Tathamet's story, but not for a long time. We'll revisit Tathamet when we talk about Diablo. But for now, let's talk about angels and demons. So the angels, aka the Seraphim, live in the high heavens. They are living manifestations of light and sound, and they are dedicated to the ideals of order. As we said previously, they are birthed from the Crystal Arch, and the process through which they are birthed is called the light song. Basically, since angels are beings of light and sound, they emit a certain resonance which they tune to the Crystal Arch. And during the rare times when there is perfect harmony in the high heavens, a new angel can be born from the arch. Now remember, the Crystal Arch was a part of Anu, and when an angel is born from the arch, they're actually embodying a part of Anu's power. And this power is finite. That means that there is a finite number of angels that can exist. So basically, you can say that angels are small Anus. Now, while Anu's power is finite, whenever an angel is slain, the power returns to the Crystal Arch, and a new angel can then be born. So let's say that in total there's enough Anu power units to produce 1 million angels, and there are currently only 500,000 angels. That means that the Arch can produce over time another 500,000 angels. Once we reach 1 million angels, no further angels can be produced. We're at maximum angel capacity. All of Anu's power has been distributed out. But then let's say that 100,000 angels die in battle versus demons, then that frees up a bunch of Anu power units, and over time another 100,000 angels can be produced. Now, as we said, angels tune their resonance to the crystal arch, and it's from this connection that they draw their power, their very life force. This is why when Diablo entered the high heavens in Act 4 in Diablo 3, he was able to incapacitate all the angels by futzing with the antenna on the arch. Now, oddly enough, despite the unusual way in which angels are born, they can also breed, for some reason. And moreover, they're able to interbreed with demons. This seems like too much information, but trust me, it'll be relevant later. As it turns out, not all angels are born equal. Some are archangels, angels with greater power and status. They're like super angels, or angel celebrities, like Chris Angel. 5 of these archangels form the Anguirus Council, who rule the high heavens. We've met every member of the council in Diablo 3, but before we dive any deeper into that, let's talk about demons. So demons, aka Hellspawn, aka Minions of Darkness, are the evil natives of the Burning Hells. They are the antithesis of angels. So while angels are beings of light and order, demons are beings of shadow and chaos. Unlike angels, who are all very similar in appearance, demons come in all manner of shapes and sizes. Many of the enemies that we fight in Diablo are demons, though we should clarify that undead are not demons, but demons often use undead in their armies. Unlike angels, demons are physical beings, but if slain, their souls are reborn in hell. As we mentioned, demons are spawned from the Black Abyss, from some even more mysterious process than the Crystal Arch that doesn't seem to involve any kind of singing. Now, while angels are peacefully ruled by the Anguirus Council and live in harmony, demons are far more selfish and chaotic and ultimately uncooperative, but they still generally follow a hierarchy, in the same way that a wolf pack follows a hierarchy, where the alpha is only in charge until someone takes him out to become the new alpha. So at the top of this hierarchy are the 3 brothers, the 3 prime evils, Diablo, Baal, and Mephisto. We fight and kill all 3 of these in Diablo 2. Beneath these 3 are the 4 lesser evils, Duriel and Andariel, who we kill in Diablo 2, and Asmodan and Belial, who we kill in Diablo 3. Collectively, the prime and the lesser evils are known as the Great Evils, and each of the 7 rules over its own domain within the center of the Burning Hells. But roaming the outer reaches of the Burning Hells are the Mallet Lords, who we fight in Diablo 3. They rule over the demons that are far from the domains of the Great Evils, and they've always refused to join any of the armies of the lesser evils. Now, another notch down on the hierarchy are Balrogs, aka Mega Demons, and when they aren't busy fighting Gandalf, they're overseeing lesser demons. Now, there's a bit more nuance to this system, there's servants and lieutenants, but that's the gist of things. And the biggest takeaway is that it's pretty rare for big important demons to work together, since basically all demons want power for themselves, and they don't believe in harnessing the power of cooperation. But if there's one thing that demons like more than fighting each other, it's fighting angels. And that leads us to the eternal conflict. As its name suggests, the eternal conflict refers to the unending war between angels and demons that has gone on since both species were created. But angels and demons don't just fight to destroy each other. Remember, both angels and demons are reborn once they're slain, so that would be a pretty futile war. No, what they're fighting for is control of the World Stone. Remember the Eye of Anu that is located at the center of the universe? Well, whoever controls the World Stone has the ability to shape reality, create worlds, and create life. Throughout the eternal conflict, control of the World Stone passed from angels to demons and back and forth and back and forth. And when the angels controlled it, they would build worlds of perfect order. And when demons controlled it, they basically created horror movie sets. However, all the worlds created by either side would end up dying because of the ongoing war. So at some point, the Pandemonium Fortress was created to defend the World Stone. And it apparently made zero difference because over time, possession of the Pandemonium Fortress passed again from angel to demon, and its physical appearance reflects this. We visit the Pandemonium Fortress in Diablo 2, it's the Act 4 town. And in Diablo 3, we visit it in a much greater capacity, as it's featured prominently in Act 5. Now from here, in order to keep telling our story, we need to talk about one particular angel and one particular demon, Inarius and Lilith. Inarius, aka the Prophet, was an archangel. And yes, the necromancer set in Diablo 3, Grace of Inarius, is named after him. Inarius served as an advisor on the Angiras Council, and was under the direct command of everyone's favorite angel, Tyrael. But after fighting demons for thousands of years, he starts to realize that the whole thing is basically pointless. I mean, think about how long it takes you to get bored of killing demons in Diablo. Now imagine playing Diablo non-stop for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, at some point, you want to do something else. So while Inarius had these feelings within him, he still participated in the eternal conflict until one day when he was incapacitated in battle and captured. He woke up in chains, a prisoner to demons, and he wasn't a very polite prisoner because he spent most of his time complaining loudly about how stupid the eternal conflict is and how he just wanted to be away from it all. Fortunately for him, his demon captor shared his feelings and set him free. The name of that demon? Lilith. Lilith was the demon. And in perhaps the universe's first case of Stockholm Syndrome, Inarius became instantly infatuated with Lilith. And I mean, you know, you can't really blame him. So let's talk a bit about Lilith here, aka the Queen of the Succubi. She is the daughter of Mephisto, and Mephisto is the Lord of Hatred. So you can imagine he wasn't a very nurturing father. And like any rebellious teenage daughter, Lilith was sick of his crap. She didn't have much of a better opinion of Uncle Baal and Uncle Diablo either, so when she met Inarius, she saw an opportunity to make them all upset. Just instead of rebelling by bringing an angel home to her racist family for Thanksgiving dinner, she sowed the seeds of insurrection and worked with Inarius to assemble a team of rogue angels and demons to follow them to freedom. Her plan? Steal the World Stone. And so the greatest heist in history was afoot. It's not clear how they managed to steal the gigantic World Stone from the massively fortified Pandemonium Fortress, but I think that would make the most awesome Ocean's 11 movie ever, starring George Clooney as Inarius and Julia Roberts as Lilith. But whatever. Once they had access to the World Stone, they altered its dimensional frequency, because now we're in an episode of Star Trek, and they used the power of the World Stone to conceal it and then hide it in a pocket dimension. And it was in this pocket dimension that Inarius, Lilith, and their followers used the World Stone's power to create a world around it. A refuge that would come to be known as Sanctuary. Sanctuary is the name of the world in Diablo, where the game takes place. Now, the very first part of Sanctuary to be created was Mount Arreat, forming a protective shell around the World Stone. Mount Arreat was featured prominently in Diablo 2's Act 5, all the way from its exterior to the final fight with Baal in the World Stone Chamber. In Diablo 3's Act 3, we revisit much of the surrounding areas after the events of Diablo 2. No spoilers. So now we have this new secret world for Lilith and Inarius and all the other renegade angels and demons. Now, everybody in this world is accustomed to doing little else other than fighting each other forever. So with a bunch of time on their hands now, and us still being millennia away from video games being invented, they found other stuff to do. Like, yeah, remember how we said that angels and demons can interbreed somehow? Well, Lilith and Inarius made the beast with 4 wings. And I don't know the biology or the mechanics of how that even works. How does a being of light and sound even procreate with a physical creature? I sang you a song. You're pregnant now. And so Lilith and Inarius bore a son named Lunarian, though one day he would change his name to Rathma. Rathma was the first nephalem, a new powerful race born from the interbreeding of angels and demons. And as other angels and demons did the hokey pokey, more nephalem were born, forming the first generation of nephalem known as the Ancients. Now eventually, after generations, the power of the nephalem was diluted down until eventually they were a new, weaker race called humans. But how did the nephalem lose their power? Who were the other ancients? Why did Rathma change his name? Did Sanctuary's favorite power couple, Lilarius, stay together or split up? All these questions and more will be answered in our next video in this lore series. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch and Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. With another wave of the YouTube adpocalypse descending upon us, if you'd like to support my videos on Patreon and make me a little bit less dependent on YouTube ad revenue, that's immensely appreciated. And we've got a bunch of Patreon rewards like behind the scenes stuff, monthly hangouts, Q&As, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders for more Diablo content.